Welcome everyone to Battle for Azeroth Alpha. This is just going to be a short video just to look over the talents and the abilities. I will make a gameplay video or several in the near future. I'll run through some dungeons, just I don't have time for that today. This is the first time I've ever logged into the alpha. I'm pretty stoked about this, so let's go ahead and look over everything. And then in the next week or so, I'll probably get a couple of videos, probably dungeons out, to show you different play styles to get some ideas. So basically, Warglaives, really sweet looking. Just want to point them out. The whole troll vibe going on is really awesome. I like it. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with the traits, well, the spell book. First off, I'm just going to point out the changes. So the first change... Sorry, excuse me. The first change is... Chaos Brand. Well, first off, Demonic Wards is no longer a percent damage. Lower is now simply a armor. So, okay. Chaos Brand. So this is our raid utility. Chaos Brand will, whenever we hit with any magic, any fire spell, aka if we hit with a Fiery Brand, or if we hit with a Sigil of Flame or Immolation Aura, everything you hit is branded, and they'll take 5% more magic damage. So by bringing a Demon Hunter tank to the raid, the bosses will automatically take 5% more magic damage. That's actually pretty sweet. I like it. It's not any like defensive utility, but it is definitely offensive utility. And knowing how DHs are mainly offensive, I like it. Nothing's changed here. Soul Cleave was changed. Basically, it's still the cone attack. It's now a flat 30 pain, which is amazing. One of the biggest complaints now is a variable pain, so you don't want to blow 50 pain on Soul Cleave right now because it's a waste of your entire pain bar. So now it's a flat 30 every time. And your damage does not scale with souls, which I actually like. I'm kind of really tired of the whole accidentally walking over a soul and then losing damage because I can't use that for Spirit Bot. Now, another change is it uses 2 souls instead of 5. It's okay. I get it. They're trying to get it. Well, the whole idea is if you bank 60 pain, you can soul cleave twice, get the flat healing from it, and then eat 4 souls for like a burst healing. So say if you know, take Agamar's going to slam you really hard, you can bank up 60 pain. So he hits you twice. He hits you, and you soul cleave twice back to back, and you get most of your HP back. This is like sort of Death Knight-ish. So I like it. And I should say that the souls themselves now scale on damage taken. So this is like, again, like Blood Death Knight. What is it called? Death Strike. Yeah, it's just like Death Strike. So awesome. Good changes. You have your sigils. They haven't changed. Sheer now generates a soul 100% of the time. It's not RNG. But the damage is kind of low. You have meta. Hasn't changed. Except I don't know if that's changed. The health percent is only 30% now. I think it's higher on live. Infernal Strike hasn't changed. Imprisoned, this has changed, and this is a really dumb change, in my opinion. Granted, I haven't seen everything that they're incorporating, but I think it's a really bad change. Now it's a 1 minute cooldown instead of 15 seconds. So if you're running Mythic Plus, somebody accidentally hits your CC and it breaks, you can't re-CC it. Bad change. Immolation Aura hasn't changed. Glide. Fiery Brand no longer by default opens up the Fiery Demise window. But keep in mind, I guess it never did. On live, it was a artifact trait that does it. But this still does not have Fiery Demise anymore. Demon Spikes. Awesome change here. You can now use Demon Spikes without pain. So you don't have to save up 30 pain. You just need Demon Spikes. Just pop it. The duration, I believe, was increased to 20 seconds. So it has a longer recharge rate, but there we are. Consume Magic was also changed. I don't like this change either, but I get it. Basically, everything stayed the same except the range. This is a 20-yard range on live, but on alpha, it's only a 10-yard range. So it was cut in half. It's kind of broken on live, so I understand the change. It's just, kind of sucks. And that's honestly it for the spell book. It looks a little short on abilities, but let's go ahead and look at the talents. Abyssal Strike here, nothing's changed, so that's good. Agonizing Flames, I believe that the values have been slightly increased, but I don't really remember the values on live. As of right now, I still like Abyssal Strike as the go-to. But Razor Spikes could also be really good, especially if you go with a Soul Cleave build. Basically, since Demon Spikes does not require pain to cast anymore, you can use it at any point. So Razor Spikes could pull ahead, so I'm kind of interested to see how this plays out. Row 100, Feast of Souls, this hasn't changed. Basically, maybe it's not worthless like it is now, but still, I doubt it's going to be very good. Feast of Souls basically gives you additional healing for every Soul Cleave. Fallout hasn't changed. You can now have a chance of doing lesser souls based on Immolation Aura, hasn't changed. Burning Alive will jump every 2 seconds, just like live, and does additional damage, but not much. So that row hasn't really changed. 102. Flame Crash still exists, nothing's changed. Charred Flesh. Fiery Brand increases the fire damage your abilities do by 20%. This is our Fiery Demise window. However, it's only 20% instead of the 70% you can get now. Being on the same tier as Flame Crash, I'm really not seeing this as being a talent most people are going to pick. This might be a single target build, but we're not spamming Spirit Bomb like we used to, like on live, so I'm not really feeling this talent. Fellblade, the pain was increased. The pain that you generate has been increased. This is affected by haste. So that hasn't changed besides more pain, so this could be decent on single target. Soul Rending now gives you a passive 5% leech all the time, so that's good. Because if you take it now on live, there's nothing unless you're in meta. And then a 25% leech while in meta that was cut in half. I think it's 50%. Again, I haven't used it in so long in live, I can't remember the exact value. So the on use has been nerfed, but the passive it gained a passive. Feed the Demon, every time you consume a fragment, lowers demon spikes by 0.5 seconds. This could be okay with a Razor Spikes build, but honestly, I'm still not feeling it. But I'm going to keep an open mind about it. Fracture. Now, this is a little bit different. So, Fracture is lowered by haste, and you hit the target twice, just like normal, and you spawn 2 souls. This replaces Shear, right? I believe it replaces Shear. So, you cannot have both Fracture and Shear at the same time. That means if you go with Fracture, which per GCD is the better ability to use, you probably want to stack some haste so it's not on a long cooldown. So you Fracture, do a lot of damage, which is physical, mind you, Razor Spikes, and it spawns 2 souls. And it generates 25 pain. Shear only generates 10 pain for 1 soul, and a third of the damage. So Fracture probably will be the go-to unless they buff these other 2 or nerf it. 106, Concentrated Sigils has not changed. Sigil Chains and Quickened are all the same, so that row is fine. Looking here, Spirit Bomb. So Spirit Bomb has changed. How Spirit Bomb works is it now absorbs 3 souls instead of the normal 5. And the souls are based again on, what was it, like 30? Let me see here right now. So it does fire damage. Alright, I'm sorry. So it does fire damage and it puts on frailty, just like what it does now. Except you're not going to be spamming it unless you take sheer. Like, honestly, how I'm feeling about this is it no longer takes the. Oh, man, see, I don't know how I feel about this, to be completely 100% honest with you. I'm not liking it because if you're in a situation where you have a ton of pain and you don't have any souls available, you can't actually use it. So I could see this becoming more of a niche where you use it for the frailty buff or you use it if you're surrounded by a lot of ads and have souls available. Because fire damage is not mitigated by armor like Soul Cleave is. So, I don't know. I'm going to play with both of these in dungeons in the upcoming weeks. And I'll do videos of both. And we'll see how I feel about it afterwards. Fell Dev is back. And honestly, this might be the go-to. I'm leaning towards probably going to be the go-to, especially if you want to go with the Soul Cleave build like I plan to. Same thing as live. You 1 minute CD, you blow a lot of fire out. You heal yourself based on the damage you do. And then Gluttony. Consuming a soul fragment has a chance to activate metamorphosis for 5 seconds. We have this now on live as a trait. I like it on live. It saved my life more times than I like to admit. But the problem with this is it takes the place of 2 DPS talents. Like, you're trading off passive RNG, possible defense because you can't trigger it, it just happens, for other DPS talents. It's bad. It's not going to be good. This needs to be somewhere else. Like, replace Feast of Souls with Gluttony, and then we could possibly talk about it. So, we'll see. And lastly, Last Resort still exists. Nothing's changed here, I believe. Yeah. Soul Barrier. One problem with this is it doesn't say in the tooltips. I'm going to have to play with it to find out. But it doesn't appear to be a minimum barrier like there is in live. And that's the only reason why Soul Barrier is good now is that you can never go under a certain threshold. So it will always absorb 200k damage per swing, even if you don't have any souls out. It doesn't say that anymore. They took that out. So whether that's just a tooltip issue or whether it actually works like that, I don't know yet. I'll test that out. And lastly, new talent, Void River. Every time you Soul Cleave, you take 8% less damage for 4 seconds for everything you hit with Soul Cleave. I honestly like this a lot. I don't know if people want to get rid of Last Resort, mind you, but I honestly like this a lot. So we'll see how this plays out. Like, if you go with the Soul Cleave build, and this is like a passive, like 8% damage reduction all the time, yeah, I can live with that. I can live with that. So we'll see how this works. And yeah, those are the talents. Like I said, upcoming week or two, I'm going to be trying out all these different builds. I'm going to have videos on them showing you how they work, how they feel, my personal input. So yeah, a lot of good things. Should be a lot of fun. So if you have any questions, please let me know and leave it in the comments. And thank you for watching.